Welcome to Above Par. I'm your host, Kathy Hartwood. I show you how to take more of your talent to the golf course without practicing harder, taking more lessons, or buying new equipment. I show you how to end the frustration of underperforming so you can start playing to your potential. This is where you are going to learn how to think above par so you can play below par. Let's get to it. Hey there, welcome back to Above Par. Thank you for listening. I wanted to mention that I have had so many people share nice comments with me about the podcast and how much it's helping their swing. And I get that in emails, messages on Facebook or social media. I get it through TikTok. I really appreciate it. It's so nice to know that when I'm talking into just basically a screen and a microphone here, that it's resonating with people and it's helping you in your golf game. So I really appreciate the comments. And thank you so much again for listening. And if you have a topic that you would like me to talk about or anything that you're struggling with, just send me an email. I'll make sure that my email is in the show notes. And I'd love to hear from you and see what topics you'd like to have me discuss here on the podcast. I'm happy to do that. So today I want to talk to you about fear of failure. This is a big one. This was a big one for me when I was playing, for sure, because I was a perfectionist. So a lot of times what you do off the golf course will show up on the golf course. So if you're a perfectionist, you're going to have a sense of fear of failure, fear of disappointment. They call perfectionism the ultimate fear. So this will really resonate with you. But you can also not be a perfectionist and have a fear of failure. And I want to talk to you about it and kind of break it apart into pieces to see if I can help you get some relief from this, if this is something that you experience. A lot of golfers have a fear of failure for sure. Now, it's important to understand that our brain, a primitive part of our brain, is designed to protect us and keep us safe. So it's going to alert us when there's danger, which produces this fear in us. That works when we're going down a dark alley or where we sense that we're in trouble or that there's a scary animal that might eat us, right? Though that fear, that mechanism in our brain totally works for us. But we also have these fears of these emotions and social situations that is not really real. We're not really in any danger. We're not in any physical harm. But because we're not very good at managing our emotions and processing our emotions, it becomes very real and palpable to us that we create these fears. Fear of failure, fear of disappointment, fear of embarrassment, fear of rejection. There's so many fears. They're all fears of feelings. So I want to talk to you a little bit about what failure is in golf. So when you're playing golf, we have to come to an agreement, you and I. Let's agree that there's lots of mistakes to be had in golf. We are going to make mistakes. And when we try and go out and not make a mistake or not be accepting of us making a mistake, we're going to struggle and suffer because that's not reality. Even the best players in the world make mistakes. If you watch it on TV, they're hitting balls out of bounds in the water. They're missing short putts. They're struggling coming in. Right? They're not able to put, 4 good rounds together. They go through slumps. This is all part of the process. This is part of the game that we signed up to play. We are going to agree that there's lots of mistakes to be had out there. And for as many days as you continue to play golf, you are going to make mistakes. They're not avoidable. You are going to hit balls out of bounds. You are going to hit balls in the water, miss short putts, not finish very well. It's going to happen. So the sooner that you can accept that's what you signed up for when you decided to play this game, that takes a little bit of the heat off. Otherwise, you'd be a total anomaly and you'd be playing on the tour. Right? It's just part of the game. I saw this quote from Justin Thomas on Twitter about Phil Mickelson winning, but he said, and I'm clipping out a little bit in there about Phil Mickelson, he's saying, golf is insane. One day's great, the next is awful. What a sport I decided to play. This is it, right? When you can go out there and anticipate that and expect it and not make it mean anything, it's going to be so helpful for you. Okay, so we're going to assume that golf is a game of lots of mistakes. We're also going to assume and accept that you're going to make a lot more mistakes as you move forward. And then we're going to talk about the definition of failing. Failing is subjective. You get to define it. You get to define what a failure is to you on the golf course. Is it not finishing well? Is it double bogeying coming in? Is it a ball out of bounds? You actually get to decide what it is yourself. You define it. Ask yourself, what is your definition of failure for you? Is it realistic? Because you are never really failing. You're either learning or you're winning, right? You either succeeded or you learned something. That's it. Those are your two options. What happens so often is we finish a round and we're ticked off about the way that we finished and we're beating the heck out of ourselves. We throw the clubs in the car and we storm off and we sulk. And we never look back and take an opportunity to learn on what happened. What could we improve from? What could we do different? Take that as an opportunity to learn. I think this is one of the best gifts if you are a parent, especially of a junior golfer, but just a parent of a kid. Let them fail. Let them learn. There's no problem with failing. Failing doesn't mean anything. It's just an opportunity for you to learn because when you get failure resilience, when you're able to fail and keep having your own back and you build up that resilience to it, then there's so many more things that you're willing to do and try. Then you don't have that fear of failure. I failed. It didn't work the way I wanted to. I learned from it. I'm going to go and do it again. That didn't work the way I wanted it to. I'm going to learn from it. I'm going to go and do it again. But when we're afraid for it not to work and we're in that mode of preventing making mistakes, then we're not fully putting ourselves out there. You're not fully making your best swings. You're not focused so much on the task at hand. You're more worried about creating this failure for yourself that you've defined, and your game's not going to show up. It just can't. Right? So when you get really good at accepting failure, not making it mean anything, then you're more willing to go out there and really make your best swings. If you're familiar with my formula that I talk about, steer, feeling like a failure is an emotion. So what I would ask you next time you're feeling like a failure, feeling like you failed, ask yourself what you're thinking. For instance, let's say if you finished 18 and it was an important round and you double bogeyed the last hole coming in and you feel like a failure, what were you thinking? Was it like, I suck, I'm never going to do this well, I'm never going to figure this game out, I can never finish, I'm never going to win a tournament, I always choke? What are the words that you're saying to yourself that are making you feel like a failure? Because it comes from a thought. Then we do things when we feel like a failure. So ask yourself again, what do you do when you feel like a failure? Do you beat yourself up? Do you give yourself a verbal beatdown? I did for sure. Do you sulk? Is it that feeling in the pit of your stomach that you just can't stand? Do you isolate? Do you storm off? Do you lose your temper? Do you pout for 3 days? I don't know. I mean, everybody does things differently. What do you do when you have that feeling of feeling like a failure? Then I would ask yourself, what are you making it mean about you that you feel like a failure? Most people are going to sit there and say, it's going to boil down to that you're just not enough. You're not good enough. You're not worthy. Something along that lines. And that thought and that feeling, what we make it mean is what feels horrible. We can shame ourselves. We can blame ourselves. We can do all the things and it feels really crappy. And depending on how good you are at processing your emotions and letting yourself get past it and dealing with it, or if you suppress it and hide it or resist it, then it's going to last a lot longer. So then you're sitting in this horrible, crappy feeling that you don't like for a long period of time because of all these thoughts that you created about this definition of failure to you. Feel like failure, beat yourself up, feel like you're not worthy, and that takes you a couple days to get past it. I'm creating quite a story, but you might relate to this in some way or somehow. You do this enough and you experience it enough, you're like going, I don't want to experience that again. I don't want to have to feel that feeling again. I don't want to make a double bogey on the last hole on a tournament that matters and have that feeling again. And then we have a fear of that feeling. We have a fear of the failure. Now we go out and play trying to protect ourselves from having that feeling of failure, of trying not to make a mistake. I feel like a failure. I hit out of bounds. I'm a failure. I'm never going to be good enough. When you have that feeling riding over you, that fear riding over you the whole way around your golf course, it's hard to swing. It's hard to focus. It's super hard to make your best swings, for sure. We become tentative and tight and worried and preoccupied. Our brain can't be focused at the task at hand. It's very hard to be calm and have a fear of failure at the same time. Very hard to be confident and a fear of failure at the same time. First, I would ask you to go and ask yourself how you define failure. What defines failure? What would have to happen for you to sit there and say, I failed? Then I would ask you to ask yourself, what are you thinking that is creating that feeling? What are you thinking about that situation, a double bogey, a circumstance, a missed putt, whatever it is? What are you saying to yourself that's creating that feeling of failure in you? And then what do you do when you feel like a failure? Beat yourself up? Do you sulk? Do you spend lots of time away from people? You might go eat and drink. I did that one too. Everybody's a little bit different, but what do you do? And then how long does it last? I think that's always very curious. Like, how long do you let yourself sit in that feeling of failure? Because the longer you've done this And the more you repeated it, then we created that fear of failure. Now we're afraid to experience that feeling because we don't have that skill of processing it. So that's first your observations. That's first your way of being aware of where it's coming from. And then I would tell you that your work, your personal work, is dealing with what you're making it mean that you failed. Whether it's that you're not good enough or that people won't respect you or that you embarrassed yourself, whatever you're making that mean, that is your ultimate work. And when you can get yourself on board with that, when you can get past that, when you can start accepting yourself no matter what you do, what mistake you make, what you scored, all of it, when you can get past that, that fear will be lifted. And then you're going to be able to go out on the golf course taking your best swings and playing your best golf because you do not have that fear of failure. This is a big one. Most golfers have it, but I like to just dissect it and really take it apart. When you get that feeling in the pit of your stomach where you're really starting to feel like a failure, start asking yourself questions on what you're thinking, what's creating it. And when you can start to create a little bit of space in there, then you can start to alleviate that. So you can show up the golf course with all the talent that you have. All right, my friends, I hope that helped. And I'll talk to you next week. Hey, so I have another workshop coming up. Make sure you get on the wait list so you can be notified about all the details when it's released. This is a way to dive deeper into your mental game so that we can start getting yourself out of your own way so you can take more of your talent out there. You can feel better about the game, not as frustrated, super valuable. You can check out the link in the description and make sure you get on the wait list. I hope to see you there. All right, bye.